All right, so copy the home plate. The home plate for tonight is those three problems. You're finding the mean, median, mode, and range. And also, aside from those three, you're going to do page 425. 425 is basically a review for two-way frequency tables and two-way relative frequency tables. So copy that. That's the home plate for tonight. Then we'll get started with the lesson. All right, our objective for today, I can summarize data and compute the measures of central tendency. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. You guys sound like if you're tired or something. Why? Wow.
Come on, Joe. You had a whole weekend.
Chuck E. Cheese? Man, let's go. Yeah? Anyways, make sure when I leave you a video, watch it sporadically, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, instead of waiting till the last moment. Hey, fast pass. Let's go. All right, so our concept for today is the measure of central tendency. So I gave you guys a Cornell note, and it has a definition in there. The definition says, commonly used measures of center for a set of numerical data that represent a central or typical value of data set. So first of all, what kind of data are we looking at according to the definition? It says numerical data. Okay. Last week, I said we're going to be looking at two types of data. Remember that? Tell your neighbor what the name of numerical data is. See if you remember. Let's see. Who remembers? Ian. That is correct. Quantitative. And start with a letter Q. Let's go. So yeah, quantitative data, we're going to be looking at that today. But look at the definition. It says, commonly used measures of center. You're like, what does that mean? What it means, just to summarize it, commonly used measures. So, for example, if I was to ask you to measure the room size, what would you use? A ruler. So that's a commonly used. Well, isn't a yardstick a ruler? Yes, it is. What if okay, fine. What if I wanted to use Leslie? Put Leslie right there and then move her over, drag her all over the room. So anyways, that's what's commonly used to measure. Now here, we're going to look at three different things that are used to commonly use to measure data. But look at this word here. The key word here is center. You're saying, what does that mean, Mr. Q? What it means is that there's three things that are commonly used to look at data and look at the focus of the data, which is the main part. That's what the word center means. Okay? So first, so I can show you the three different types of measures, I'm going to give you some data. Write this data down on the example box. There it is. 75, 75, 85, 95, and 100. Okay? Now, this lesson, today's lesson, is going to go pretty fast, and it's only a review from what you did in 7th grade or maybe 6th grade. Let's see if you remember. The three measures of central tendency are, number one of them is the mean. The second one is known as the median. And the third one is known as the mode. So write those three down, and then I'll show you how to compute those or revisit those of you that forgot. I wrote the mean in black, the median in red, and the mode in blue. Okay? Does everybody know what I mean? Okay. All right, here we go. So how do we compute the mean? Now the mean, we've been computing, hopefully you guys have been doing it already for a while. And let me revisit that before you guys forget. So look up. Don't write this down, just pay attention, look up to the screen. So everybody knows that in any school, if you have an A, it counts for 4 points. If you have a B, it counts for 3 points. If you have a C, that counts for 2 points. If you have a D, it counts for 1 point. And if you have an F, that's 0 points. That's the point value given to your grade letters. To find your GPA, you need to first write your schedule. So for example, I'm going to give you a schedule of what mine looked like back in 8th grade. Let's see. In 8th grade, in algebra, I had algebra geometry. We had like, it was a split. I had an A. In PE, I had an A. Social studies, I had an A. In science, I had a B. In mechanics, I had a B, and that counted for 2 periods. And language arts, I had I think it was a B also. Okay, there it is. Let's say that was my report card. So therefore, the values are 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, and 3. To find my GPA, everybody knows what do we do? Add them all and divide by how many classes you have. So I add these up. What's that? 8 periods? Yeah, these 2. Yeah, okay. So let's see, 12 plus 12, that's 24. Divide by 7, that's 3. 21, subtract, that's 3 out of 0. It's in there 4 times. 28, that's 2. That's twice, so it's 3.4. That's the GPA. What I just did is demonstrate how to do the what? The mean. So therefore, can you compute the mean using that data, please? Give you some time to compute that, please. Go. If you don't have a lot of space in the little box, remember you have a column of a Q right there where you can do some work on your Cornell note. Copy that and go. All right, let's see what we got. The mean. Who got 86? 86 right there. 75 plus 75 plus 85, 95, 100, that's 430. Divided by 5, that's 86. Okay. Next, the median. The median, first of all, who noticed that we have the data organized from least to greatest? You guys notice that? Okay. To find the median, once you set up your data from least to greatest, you go to the middle of the data and see what number is in the middle. So you never the median for that data. Everyone. That's right. Circle 85 and point to the median, and that's our median. Now, people always ask me, Mr. Q, but what happens, what if you have something like this? So let me zoom in. They're like, what happens if you have 75, 75, 85, 95, 100, and 105. Let's see. I have 3 numbers here, 3 numbers here. So therefore, there is no median. You guys notice that? So whenever you don't have a number that is right in the center, what you do, you take the two closest to the center, 85 plus 95, add those and divide by 2. So therefore, 85 plus 95, that's 180, divided by 2, that is 90. Copy that, please. So I'm giving you an example of if you do have a number as a median, straight just by looking at your data, or if you don't have a number, you just take the two closest to the middle and add and divide by 2. Pretty simple. Okay. And the last one, the last measure of central tendency is known as the mode. Now, before I answer that, let me ask you a question. Let's see. Who notices around, let's say, here in the Imperial Valley, that there's a certain brand that most people wear in regards to clothing or sweaters or shirts? This is what I've seen. I've seen Pink. Have you guys noticed that? I've seen Aeropostale and Hollister. Well, what I'm trying to make a point is this. So wherever you go, you pretty much see everyone using that kind of fashion. Okay? Now, in Latin or in Spanish, there's a word for fashion known as moda. Now look at this word mode. So fashion, what you see most often or most frequent, or the one with the most frequency was what? Hollister, Pink, and all that, right? Look at that data. Which one is the one that's mostly in fashion? That is correct. That's how we know that's the mode. 75, the number that is most frequent, or the one with most frequency. Now, look up. What if in this data we had this? Look up. Tell your neighbor what the mode would be. And 100. That is correct. Or what if we have this? Look up. Look up. What if my data was this? Tell your neighbor what the mode would be. Do they all repeat? No. Therefore, this one has no mode. That is correct. Everybody understand? Okay. So, now, isn't this refreshing your memory from 7th grade? What did you say? Mean, median, and mode? But some of you were taught mean, median, mode, and range. Well, guess what? Range is not one of the measures. That's why I'm going to use that as a non-example. So I want you to write range on the non-example. Even though it's something that we use to observe data, but that's not one of the measures. The range. And of course, if I gave you this data to find the range, it's usually subtracting the largest from the smallest in the data. So 100 minus 75, the range here is 25. Pretty simple? Yes, we love this. All right, good. So hashtags. What kind of hashtags would we add to this this data sheet? Let's see. Jerry, go. In order. Nate. Least to greatest. Mia. Hashtag no range. Damn. Anyone? Leslie R. Also known as quantitative data. Quantitative data. Everybody see what I mean? Yeah? All right. All right, and in your Cornell notes that I gave you the definition, and also here are the definitions for each of the terms that I just gave you right now. We actually did all of these, but here it explains what it does. But if you turn your paper over, I printed the definitions in the back. You guys see that? And in the front, I also printed your steps because I just wanted to get to the practice today. Okay. But I want you to circle step 1, which is the most important step, and tell your neighbor what step and what it says, please. That is imperative. If you don't do that from the beginning, you're going to be fumbling and taking longer to get all the other stuff that I'm going to ask you to do for tomorrow and the other lessons. All right? So with that said, example 1A, copy that down. It says, example 1A, find the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. The data set is 478.21242. So what would be the very first thing we all do? Everyone. From least to greatest. So I start with 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 7, 8. From there, I need you to find me the mean, the median, and the mode. Start with the easiest one. Look at your data without doing anything. What is the mode? Tell your neighbor, please. Everyone? 2. That is correct. Write that in there. So that's done. The second easiest would be the median. Is that correct? Tell your neighbor the median. Everyone. 3. That is correct. How do we get that? Well, we take these 2. 2 plus 4 divided by 2. That is 6 divided by 2, and that is 3. And that leaves us with a mean. Okay. Now let's do the range, since the range is also fairly easy. So range. What do we do, everyone? The largest from the smallest. So it's 8 minus 1, which is 7. So that's my range. So now I give you the computation for the mean. Jerry, you're done? Bam, Jerry. What'd you get? 3.75. And if you got that, that is correct. So for tonight, you're going to be rounding to the nearest 100. Okay? So, let me forward your screen really quick. Let's see. Take a quick poll really quick before I give you one last one. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. How do you feel about this so far? Go. Example 1B. There's your data really quick. As you're copying it, might as well arrange it from least to greatest. It's on your screen, right? Okay, the data for example B is 643525118. Okay, real quick, what's our mode? 5. What's our median? 4 and 5. What is 4 plus 5? Divided by 2. 4.5. Damn, Nate. Woo. Let's go. Oh, yeah, but on yours, it should be there. No? So your home plate for tonight was the 3 pounds that you copied earlier, and page 425. There is tutoring today. If I don't see you, enjoy your home plate. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. Later.
I will be back.
Maybe. All right.